Greetings, exiles. And I am continuing my journey. I'm going to start with upgrades, because that's what a lot of my viewers are waiting for. The Forbidden Shako is the best item you can buy, because it increases your damage by 3 times. Now let's talk about it in more detail. I've often been asked what kind of shako to buy. And basically we are only interested just in corrupting Cry, but it should be a high level. For example, this one is absolutely useless and should not be bought. I personally recommend buying at least level 28 corrupting Cry, because then you will really feel the difference in DPS. For example, this shako with level 28 corrupting Cry I bought for 15 divine orbs, but if you are a rich player then look for a higher level, but I warn you that it will cost a lot. But as I said before, even this helmet increased my damage by 3 times, and for me it is a good buy. With it I will be able to earn currency more effectively, and most likely I will sell it later to buy shako with a higher level corrupting Cry. I realize that for some of my viewers the price of 15 divine orbs is very high, but it is what it is. Also, this build is playable without this unique helmet, and I earned the currency to buy the shako using the gear I showed in the last video, and it's totally affordable for most of you. One last thing, at the time this video was recorded there were no good shakos on the trade site, so it will take you some time to find this desired helmet. But don't be too quick to get upset and post that this is a dead build. Even though Forbidden Shako is the best way to increase our damage, it is not the only item that can improve your build. And now let me show you what else you can do to increase your DPS. I'm buying Elegant Hubris with Caspero. This item gives us minion damage and items rarity. To find the right timeless jewel, use this site. The link to it will be in the description of this video. We also get the Supreme Ostentation Keystone, and now we can free up some skill points and spend them on something more useful than attributes. Now let's make a new weapon. First I'll need a fractured base like this. Then I'm using essences. Maybe, but I think I can make something better. Like this one. That's what I need. And then the benchcraft at the end. A pretty good wand that will greatly increase your damage. Then a new anointment. And some extra skill points for us to spend for clusters. Let's start by buying one large cluster. Like this one. If it's too expensive for you, you can buy a cheaper one. It's not as effective, but it still works. And 2 medium clusters that will greatly increase our area of effect. New gloves. And a new belt. Nothing special, just items with life and resistances. And the final purchase, another Ventur's Gamble. Quite an expensive ring, and if you are on a tight budget, you can skip this stage. We've done a good job, and let's take a short break. I've found the Voidborn key, and let's see what Chris has in store for us. Wow! So shiny. But useless. Next time for sure. I'm done with buying items, but we still have one more important topic left. Namely charms. Because Wildwood Primalist is not only the Howl of the Wolf, but also 2 charms that boost our build quite well. In fact, there are a lot of options here, and I will tell you about the best ones in my opinion. First of all, it is the cooldown recovery rate. This is a very important modifier for this build because it allows us to use General's Cry more often. But for such a charm you will have to pay at least 2 divine orbs. Increased area of effect per endurance charge is also a good choice, because the more AoE we have, the more comfortable it is to play. Also, chaos resistance per endurance charge can be useful because chaos damage is our weakness. It is ideal if you can find a charm with both of these modifiers. Increased mana reservation efficiency of skills allows us to activate an additional aura. Warcries grant rage per 5 power if you have less than 25 rage in combination with Red Blade Banner. Thank you to my viewers for suggesting this combo. Thanks to this charm we can generate a lot of rage, and therefore the uptime of our Berserk is quite high. Unfortunately, Berserk will not give us extra damage, but it is 19% less damage taken and 30% more movement speed, which in the end increases our survivability even more and gives us the much needed movement speed. I highly recommend trying this combination. I think you'll like it, unless you don't mind pressing one extra button every 20 seconds. And the last charm, nearby corpses explode when you warcry, dealing % of their life as physical damage. If you're worried that extra loot won't work with explosions, let me tell you that with these explosions we will get loot. Like that. So this is also a very good option if you have bad equipment and you need to improve your map clearing and at the same time you make hard content. For example, maps with Beyond. Also, don't forget about this new unique jewel because it is actually the third charm and you can find very nice exemplars. For example, I got myself one of these. Personally, I use charms like this. Very simple, because now I do not want to bother and later I will buy something better because at the moment I do not know what will be more optimal. Well, I'm done with the improvements and now let's see what this character can do with the new gear and also talk about my Atlas and currency earning strategy. After all these expensive purchases, my damage has increased more than 3 times and it is immediately felt, because it became much easier to play and map clearing speed increased significantly. Also, having Berserk makes gameplay very enjoyable. Of course, we lost some health, but in general the build became more survivable. All thanks to Berserk. And the more I play on this build, the more I like it. Just run and cry. As for my Atlas, I used this one to earn currency for all these improvements from my first video. Basically just Legion and a couple extra mechanics. Pretty stable earning strategy. As for maps, my choices are Mesa and Jungle Valley. Good choices if you only have 2 Void Stones. Dune is a good map if you have 4 Void Stones. I used Rusted Legion and Divination Scarabs because the others are very expensive at the beginning of the league and in my opinion they are not worth it. You have to wait for the price to decrease. If at the time of this video the prices stabilize, you can use Polished Scarabs instead of Rusted ones. Well, and Random Sextants, just to increase the number of monsters on the map, because the more monsters the more loot. But after all these improvements I decided to change the Atlas a little bit, because the character is stronger and you can make more challenging and profitable content. I added Beyond and the 7th gate so I can use Beyond Craft from the map device. I also changed the map and now it's Burial Chamber because I'm not feeling well and I need a doctor. Preferably several doctors. You know what I mean. Also, to the pros of this build, I would like to note that we do not need to open chests and it helps a lot when I farm Legion. Great quality of life for me. As for the League mechanic, I do it periodically because it gives a lot of extra loot. But be prepared that from time to time you may die from random one-shot. Not often, but still it will happen. I especially like this corpse trading. I never thought that I would do such a thing in Path of Exile, although quite a profitable activity. We sell the bad ones. We open the good ones. And there's no scam. As you can see, my first journey is going pretty well. Certainly better than this guy's. I hope it was really worth it. So I hope the start of the league is fun and exciting for my viewers too. And now it's time to say goodbye, and hopefully we'll see you in part 3. Thank you all for watching, commenting, and giving me advice. I appreciate it. Also, I will be very grateful for your likes, subscriptions, and comments. And if you have any questions, join my Discord channel. The link you will find in the description of this video. Bye everyone, and see you in new videos.